आपतामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहं आर्तिहन्तारं दीतानां भीतिनाशनं द्विषतां कालदण्डं तं रामचन्द्रं नमाम्यहं सन्नद्धकवची खड्गी चापबाणधरो युवा गच्छन्ममाग्रतो नित्यं रामपादुसलक्ष्मणः नमः कोदण्डहस्ताय सन्धीकृतशराय च खण्डिताखिलदैत्याय रामायापन्निवारिणे रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः अग्रदपृष्ठदश्चैव पार्श्वदश्च महाबलौ आकर्णपूर्णधन्वानौ रक्षेतां रामलक्ष्मणौ मङ्गलं कौसलेन्द्राय महनीयगुणाब्धये चक्रवर्ती तनूजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलं सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय लो भाई सब संतन की जय सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। नमः श्री तुलसीदास सद्वरिष्ठाय धीमते पूरितं हृदयं येन रामप्रेमामृतेन मे दक्षिणे लक्ष्मणो यस्य वामे तु जनकात्मजा पुरतो मारुतिर्यस्य तं वन्दे रघुनन्दनम्। After Doha number 10, मणिमानिक मुकुता छवि जैसी आहि गिरि गज सिर सोहन तैसी नृप किरीटक नीतनुपायी लहहि सकल शोभा अधिकाई तैसहि सुकवि कवित बुध कहि उपजहि अनत अनत छवि लहहि भगति हेतु विधि भवन बिहाई सुमिरत सारथ आवति धाई। Okay. Sitting in different directions. So there are certain precious things in this world. Mani, manikya, mukuta. So money is available in the head of a naga. Nagamani it's called. And the manikya is available at the top of the mountain or on the crown of the elephant. And mukuta, as you know, mukta, that is pearl, that is available in the deep, these shells that are in the ocean. Even though they are there, but nobody really values them until it is found its presence in the body of a king, in the ornaments, or in a beautiful woman. Nripa kirita taruni tanupai lahahi sakala shobha atikai. If you go to any jewelry shop also, jewelries are there, but what women usually do? Put it on your right and then look at the mirror. Even then you are not satisfied. How is it? You ask your husband. Yes, very good. I don't like it. Okay, the next one. How is that? Yeah, because he's getting out of gas, out of steam. Yeah, it is good. You don't like it? No, I like it. It's good. It is good on me, or it is by itself? It is good on you. Okay. I don't like it. Because my sister-in-law has got the same thing. See, unless it is owned by a person, its value is there, but it doesn't have beauty. Right? That's why it's a Nripa Kireet. If it is found itself on the crown of a king, Taruni Tanu, and the body of the young woman, not one is 92. This itself, by itself, it is shaking. And it is long also. Drink. So that is not. So Lahahi Sakal Sopa Adikai. Sopa means the beauty is for everyone to see that such a beauty is there. In the same way, Taisaki Suka Bikabita Batukahi. In the same way, like that of the Mani Manikya and the pearl, when it is Taisahi Sukabi, when a beautiful poet, he may probably have so much of literary skill. Then it is Upajahi Anata Chabilahahi. So it is different places it is available, no doubt. So many literature is available. And it can probably, many admirers will be there. But it is said that without the bhakti of the Lord, it does not have any real value. A kavita, a literature, a poetry has so much of beauty only when it is induced with love for the Lord. Bhakati hetu vidhi bhavana vihai. So, upajahi anata chabi, anata. Various people, it coming from different places also, all right, from various minds of different poets, and it can bring a greater joy to many people. But it can have only great value, bhakati hetu vidhi. So that is devotion to the Lord. In this, what happens? This, when the devotion is there, the Saraswati Mata, who is called Vakdevi. Vakdevi at the same time, one who is the Purano ki Rani, Vidya ki Vani. So, all the words of a poet or the teachings of the Vedas and all the various talents that all we have, presiding deity is who? Saraswati. The very word Saraswati means that which continuously flows. Saras. Sarasche. Gujarati Sarasche. Beautiful. Beautifully flowing all that. I mean, Sanskrit Saras means to, Sar means to flow. So let's get Samsara. Samsara means continuously flowing. Similarly, Saraswati, one who's of the nature of constant flow. Bhagati hetu, because of that very devotion, she leaves the abode of Brahma, where she actually is. It's up there, no? It's easier. Good. Oh, you're going to class, okay. You are also leaving it, like Saraswati. So, she leaves the bhavana of Vidhi, Brahma's abode, where she originated from, she lives there. Bhagati hetu vidhi bhavana vihai. Bhagati hetu, because of the reason devotion is there in this poetry, he says, anywhere where there is Bhagavan's devotion is there, she leaves the abode of Brahma, then she comes to the tongue of the poet. Sumirat sarata avati dai. She runs and comes to whom? to the devotee's tongue to sing the great beauty of the Lord. So that's such a beautiful kind of symbolism here. Now Saraswati is who, as I have said, that she is a presiding deity of not only the literature, etc., but Vak-Devi. Vak-Devi means even when anybody is talking, we take it for granted we are talking. But where is the sound originate from? Tell me. Where does the sound originate from? So even when you are snoring, there is sound, right? Are you doing it consciously? No. But it happens. So it is there at the base of our navel. So that base of our navel is where the actual origination of the sound. That is Brahma Bhavan. You understand? Navel. Is it not Bhagavan Vishnu's navel is where Brahma is residing? In the Kamala, in the beautiful lotus. He is residing there. That is to say, in the navel of Brahman. The navel of Bhagavan Vishnu is Brahma, and that is where Saraswati also. So then from that navel which is called Brahma Bhavana, which is also known as in this Vidhi Bhavana, it is written as Vidhi. Vidhi means Brahma. So from there, at that point of time, she is known as Paravani. The sound that is coming from the navel of a person is known as Paravani or Paravak. We cannot hear there. If you put your nose ear there, you will not find anything there. From there only. That's why when a meditator, when he or she chants the Om, it actually starts from the navel. Especially when you hear the Buddhist tradition, the way they chant Om, oh, it's very scary also. Actually, they are bringing that energy all the way from the navel, and then it travels through. Okay, so one by one, let us see. So it starts from the navel of a person, the sound. Then she moves to the Anahata Chakra, which is known as the chakra of the heart. So that is from the Vidhi Bhavana. Then when she moves to Anahata Chakra, it is known as Pashyanti. Pashyanti is the name of the Saraswati when she moves from the navel to the heart. So Vishaya Rupena Manasa Pashyanti. So when we are thinking about something, especially when the rishis thought about the highest reality, they went to deep contemplation and in the absolute stillness of their mind, they started to gain the sound coming from the external atmosphere, in the sense that the Vedic presence is there everywhere. It started to come from their own navel in the form of a possibility of a thought, and it arises to the heart. Heart means where they started to conceive it as a thought. Even in our case, suddenly we say, I got this thought. Sometimes we call it as intuition, right? The intuition is something which is already there, which you start to receive it. It is not intelligence. Intelligence is what you think. Intuition is what comes to you. When you are in tune, then you get intuition. In tune with the highest. Like as I said in the last class, though, when you have a radio or the transistor, you go on tuning, then you get that particular radio wave. Then you can hear that sound, right? Even in your phone also, it is the same case. It is already there. Everywhere this data is moving around so much. When your phone, when you open up, it starts to receive all that signal relevant to your phone, relevant to your number. In the same way, so they started to get that idea, concept of what is to be thought of, what is to be conveyed. So that is called Manasi Vishayarupena Pashyanti iti. That is known as Pashyanti. Then it becomes a communicatable knowledge or communicatable language. Then it reaches the throat, which is known as Vishuddhi. Vishuddhi is the chakra there, and there she becomes a objectifiable, communicatable idea in the intellect. So that is called Madhyama. So Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama. It comes up to all the way up to the throat it has come. You may say or you may not say, that's a different thing. You may communicate, you may not communicate. Then when it is traveling from the throat to the tongue, then only she becomes Vak. Vak Devi. The speech, the power of speech. So this way she has moved away from Brahma Bhavana up to the tongue of the poet. That is what he is saying. And that she effectively does. Whenever a poet is ready to convey a beautiful idea through his literature, through his kavita. So any of this literature is most valuable only when it can be sung. And it has become a tune to the chandas, tuned to particular meter, and it is set to the tune, and it is put in the form of a song, then it is most pleasant to listen also and even to remember also. Most of our teachings in Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, etc., they are all set to chandas. Why? Not only they are teachings, philosophy all right, but they should be remembered. And remembering is easy when it is set to a particular tune. So that is why when kirtanas are done for the Lord, it is all beautiful composition. They made sure that this knowledge never should die. And when it is put into the music, people, either they know the meaning or not, they start singing at least, right? Because of the very tune, what called lilting tunes that are there. Then there afterwards, when it is passed on from one generation to another, some generation will think, what are we singing? Many times many of the children, when they learn music, or teaching, some of the teachers are very strict. Otherwise, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram Ram. Rama becomes like a payasam like that. No doubt. But see, and also when the dance also during the Bharatanatyam, if they know what the bhava, what is the attitude of what is the very purpose of that very singing or very dance, or what is being conveyed as an emotion, then the performer or the artist will have the ability to express that. Otherwise, it will be karate only. Are you doing dance or some kind of a taekwondo here? And the maximum clap that the girl gets only when she puts the leg like this. That even the gymnast can do it. Why Bharatanatyam there? But that is beautiful. Bhava. That even the singer should have that bhava. When the original poet, when he thought of this very Lord, and the way with emotion that he had sung that very song, if we can tune to that, then only we will feel how that poet originally felt about the Lord. Then you also become part of that. So here she started from Vidhi Bhavana, Brahma Bhavana, and came up to the tongue of the poet, right? So it is said here, Bhagati hetu Vidhi Bhavana Vihai Sumirata Sarata Avati Dhai. She came running from there. Now you see, in the same way, when the Mahatmas, Jivan Muktas, when they started to study the scriptures like Upanishad, etc. See, Bhagavan Shankaracharya was the first one who gave the commentary on Upanishad and Brahma Sutra and all the verses of Bhagavad Gita. What was the purpose of him writing the Bhashya? He understood what it is, but he wanted to convey, right? He wanted to make sure that it is conveyed to the common man with simple writing. But mantras by themselves cannot open up, even if you know Sanskrit. Language alone cannot open up the verses. You may understand the literal meaning of it. What is known as Vachya Artha. Vachya Artha means what is spoken, literal meaning. You can go to the dictionary and look at the meaning. Oh, that's the meaning. But what is most important is known as Lakshya Artha. What is he indicating? Indicative meaning is that which is to be understood from three aspects. One is, what is the subject matter? What is that which we are trying to study? Second one is, what is the connection between previous verse and this verse? From the beginning, when you are studying, it cannot be standing outside the entire whole, flow of thoughts. It should connect to what is spoken before, and it has to be relevant to that. And this should lead to something to come later. Then only every verse you will see it connected to the subject matter, it connects to the previous what is being spoken, and it lead to some other ideas or thoughts and instructions or sadhana. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya used in his commentary three important things: Shruti, Yukti and Anubhuti. Shruti means how is it is connected to the Vedas, or what is said in the Upanishads, or what is said in the ritual part of the Vedas. How is it connected here? Then Yukti, how it is logical for the student to rationally understand this verse. Anubhuti, how he can practice it, or how practically when he does it, how it is relevant to his mukti. Shruti, Yukti, Anubhuti, all the three should be pointing out to the mukti, towards liberation, otherwise it is no meaning. So the commentator, Bhashyakar, has to keep that in mind. And most of his compositions are also like that, whether it's Vivek Chodamani, Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, Driktish, all are said to meter. So he is also a great poet. Gurudev would say he is a commander general, spiritual commander general. But at the same time, he is the most, skillful poet. So here, what we see here is without the interpretation by a Mahatma or a man of highest knowledge, only he who is in tune with the highest truth, the mere literary words by themselves will have no beauty. Why this coming to point is Mani, Manikya, Mukta, all of them, they have relevance only in the head of the king. In the same way, this, even if it is literature, in the head of a Jivan Mukta only, it will find its beauty. Rama Bhakti jisme hai, whoever has that Rama Bhakti in him or in her, such a person, it finds its beauty. Like the body of a young woman when she wears the ornaments, how it adds more beauty, not only to her, but the ornaments also becomes beautiful. And what is most important is Bhakti Hetu, and devotion to the Lord. Sri Rama Bhakti Bhushita Kavya Kalpaya. For the sake of bringing this beauty of Sri Rama's devotion to the Lord, Ramacharitmanas Sarabhinu Anavaye. Next. Repeat. So Shrama Jayena Koti Upaye. Kabhi Govita Asahridaya Vichari. Gavahi Hari Jas Kalimalahari. Kine Prakrita Jana Gunagana. Siraduni Gira Lagat Pachitana. Hridaya Sindhumati Sipa Samana Swati Sarada Kahi Sujana Ramacharita Sarabina Navaye Soshrama Jaye Nakoti Upaye Kabi Govita Asa Hridaya Vichari Kavahi Hari Jasa Kalimalahari Kine Prakrita Jana Gunagana Siradhuni Gira Lagat Pachitana Hridaya Sindhumati Sipa Samana Swati Sarada Kahi Sujana Ramacharita Sarabina Hanavaye. Now she has traveled all the way from the navel to the tongue, from Brahma Bhavana to the poet's abode. So Shrama Jaye. She became so tired. Traveling all the way from there, from Vidhi Bhavana, from all the way she has traveled. And Jayina Koti Upaye. Shramana Jaye. Her fatigueness cannot go away even with 100 or crores of different ways to overcome them. Jayina Koti Upaye. But when she takes a dip in the ocean of love for Sri Rama, Ramacharita Sar bin Anavai. Without taking the dip in the waters of devotion to the Lord. That's why in today's world what happens when we are tired, etc. So music somehow calms down. Nowadays the music is such that it excites you. What are you doing? Listening to music or doing the music? Nowadays we are all doing the music. When there is such a concert, everybody, so there is no calmness, it's only exerting energy. At the end of it, you say, so tired. What did I went to the concert, I got tired. Arey, concert, you should have calmness, quietness, and more energy only. Gurudev used to say, after you are going for a vacation, for a long weekend, what happens to you? Weekend. After your vacation or going for a retreat, you should be more energized. End of the week, when you are already tired, and then at the end of the week, what you do should make you more happy and relaxed. Even whenever I go to LAX, that's what I think. LAX already, but no relax. Going itself is a fatigue. Going there itself, it takes so much time. They should put LAX before that, they should put RE a little bit there. So when here Saraswati traveling all the way from the Vidhi Bhavan comes to the tongue, up to that she is so tired, and she was almost tired. At that time the poet starts to sing the Bhagavan Nama. So then she gets Ramacharita Sarabhin Anavaye Soshrama Jayina Koti Upaye. And when does she enter? How does she then becomes the very heart of the very composition? Kapi Gobita Asa Hridaya Vichari. She enters back into the heart and sings there. That is where the sarovar of bhakti, the very lake of devotion is there. She just jumps into that. So it becomes taking a beautiful dip there, and she becomes so relaxed. Gavahi arjasi kalimalahari. At that point, it removes all the impurities of the Kali. Not only the poet, when he composes the very composition, he gets delighted by the presence of Saraswati, and Saraswati gets delighted by taking the dip in the Rama Bhakti. But those who are listening to it also, they are hearing it, and then Saraswati comes to them also, and she also takes a dip in the heart of the devotee as well. So how beautifully it is illustrated. Not only the poet enjoys the joy of having Saraswati with him, and because of which the devotional streams in which he takes a dip, even the listeners also getting the same. Hari Vichar, that's what it said. Gavaha Arijas Kali Malahari, Hridaya Vichari, having thus, she brings about a contemplation in the heart of the devotees, especially the Jivan Muktas or Jnanis. What does it do? Kali Malahari removes the very impurities of the Kali. So now, to conclude this point, he says, Kine Prakrita Jana Guna Gana. So, at the same Saraswati, when this, her own presence is used in singing the glory of common people, like a king or somebody, so the poet can probably sometime do for the sake of making some money also, because then he will sing the glory of a king. So when the same Saraswati is employed by the poet just to sing the glory of a common man, Kine Prakrita Jana Guna Gana, what does she do? Siradhuni Gira Lagat Padta. She hits her own head. Iske liye main aaya. So, it is like when you prepare a nice, beautiful new dish and you ask your husband, how is it? What? Food. Which food? What you are eating? Nice. He's watching the TV, watching share market going up and down. So even though you spend so many, like once in a while when they spend so much time, you understand. From yesterday, 7 o'clock onwards, for delighting you all. They are cooking. When you are the poor things, today please tell them, oh, so beautiful. Even though it is not, you tell them, it's so nice, so tasty. You do every day, so it doesn't matter. So when they do once in a while, please encourage. Otherwise, next year they won't do it. So they do it. One day, chutti aa gaya aapko. So better tell them. So when a person with great joy and creativity prepares something, he should appreciate that. So this same Saraswati gets so frustrated when that words that are there are used for merely glorifying some common man. Kine Prakrita Jana Gunagana Siradhuni Gira. Gira means the Saraswati. Siradhuni Gira Lagat Pachitana. She is hitting her head. What is this? Tufa kiske liye? Or whose glory this is being sung? It is of no use. Hridaya Sindhumati Sipa Samana. On the other hand, in the heart of a devotee, Hridaya, the heart of a devotee, his heart is like a huge ocean. Hridaya Sindhu Mati Sipa Samana. And the mati, the intellect of that person is that of a shell. Containing what? A beautiful pearl. He's been using this for the past 2-3, I think. So the pearl is sitting inside the shell and floating in the ocean waters, right? So the ocean water is the heart of a devotee or a poet, and mati seep samana, that is like that of the mati, is that shell in which the pearl of devotion is sitting there. Swati sarata kahi sujana. And it is also said, even though the water falling into that shell, or not all waters or not all shells can create that pearl there. That's why it is so precious. You can create it in the lab also, but you can see the difference between the real one, real pearl, and then the artificial one. The real pearl is so bright and beautiful, and not all the water that goes into the shell becomes the pearl also. what happens is when the rainwater comes and the ocean provides that water into the shell, there must be a particular constellation that has to be there on the atmosphere for it to happen. That is called Swati. Swati, and that particular constellation, it is said 15th lunar asterism is considered most favorable for the formation of the pearl. And that cannot be created. You cannot create that condition above. Only then that pearl can be formed. So, Swati Sarata Kahahi Sujana. The wise men people think that like that of a particular occasion only the beauty of that pearl can be done, can be formed. In the same way, the beauty of the poetry is only when Sharada graces the poet with the devotion of the Lord. And that alone can really will bring about such a joy, not only in the person who is composing, but the one who is listening as well. So, she actually, Saraswati assumes two forms. One is known as Murtimati Saraswati and Vani Rupa Saraswati. Today we are celebrating Mother's Day. It's most appropriate to say this. Murtimati Saraswati. So, when Ramayana is sung anywhere, Murtimati Saraswati appears as Hanumanji. He is appearing there along with Hanumanji or as Hanumanji's heart. She listens. It's a form of Saraswati. Listening to, that's why it is said, in anywhere you go where the Ramayana is being spoken or conducted, they keep a seat for Hanumanji to come and sit there. Sometimes you will find the seat is used also. In one video I saw, one monkey came and sat there watching what the fellow is saying, a person is saying. And the second one is known as Vani Rupa Saraswati. That is remaining in the heart of the devotee, listening to it. One is externally listening to the Ramayana Katha, another one is in the heart of the listener sitting. Hridaya Vichara Rupena, in the form of creating the contemplation upon the Lord, she sits in the heart of the devotee. So that is, these are the two forms of Saraswati. They are continuing here. Jo barasai bhar bari vicharu, ho hi kabita mukutamani charu. Jo barasai bhar bari vicharu, ho hi kabita mukutamani charu. Jo barasai bari vicharu. What does she do in the heart of a devotee who is listening? Creating most contemplative thoughts. Jo barasai, she showers. Continuously showering. Bara means the best. Bhari, the whole shower of water. Bicharu bari, the waters of bichara. Bichara means contemplation in the form of, the difference between concentration and contemplation is this. When you think about continuously about an external object, it is called concentration. When the same thing is directed towards something internal, it's known as contemplation. That's the only difference. If you are thinking about something externally, one person was sitting there in a hotel and in a restaurant, and there was a container of orange, orange, what you call, juice. He was so seriously looking at it. Somebody asked, what happened? So written there, what? Orange juice concentrate. So that's called poor joke, PJ, this is the one. He's instructing me to concentrate, see that? So, now this example I give because if it is external, it's concentrate. If it is about something which is deep within yourself, it is contemplation. The same thought only, the flow of thoughts focusing upon one thing. Eka chintanam, eka agra chintanam. Like the sharp end of an arrow, how I pointed. In the same way, one pointed attention. That's what eka agra chintanam. So she creates so much of contemplation in the heart of the devotee or listener. Jo barasai bar bhari vicharu. And ho hi kapita mukuta manicharu. That's what creates the lovely pearls. That is why, just like that of the shell creates the beautiful pearls, not overnight. It takes so much time to continuously, the essence of the water slowly become more and more solidified, and at some point of time it becomes such a beautiful creation. In the same way, constant remembrance of the Lord can create the pearl of devotion in your heart. You will continue the same point now. Jugati Vedi Puni Bohahi Ramacharita Bharataga Pahirahi Sajjana Vimalavuru Sobhati Anuraga Jugati Vedi Puni Poyahi Samacharita Paradag Pahirahi Sajjana Vimalavura Sobhati Anurag Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai Pavana Sutta Hanuman ki jai Umapati Mahadev ki jai Bolo Bhai Sab Santan ki jai. Now, when think about these pearls are taken and made as a beautiful garland. Jugati Vedi Puni Pohihahi. In case, by those people who know how to do is, they make a small hole in that pearl. And with the great skill, Jugati Vedi Puni again. Jugati means with great amount of yukti. Yukti say, with great amount of skill when they Vedi means to pierce. Puni. Pohahi Ramacharita Barabahi. And then Pohi means to make it as a string. And with what kind of a thread is that? Ramacharita Bharadag. The thread in which these pearls of devotion can be put together is the thread is known as Rama Bhakti. That's called Taga. The Taga, the thread in which all these pearls can be slowly. So, the poet is what he does. He creates the pearl, and those people who are skillful to create the hole in it, and then put that, what called Sutre Manigana. Like Rama Bhakti is interpreted in every verse. If every verse can be considered as a pearl, what is the connecting link? What is the thread that connects all of them? That is Rama Bhakti. So, and even such a beautiful necklace of pearls, who should wear it? Pahahi Sajjana Vimala Uru. When it is worn by people of the innocent heart, Sajjana, people who are Sat-jana, meaning of noble heart, of complete devotion and surrender to the Lord. In their body, their heart, or in their chest when it is worn, Pahahi Sajjana Vimala Sobha Ati Anurag. It becomes such a wonderful beauty, and it is not only Shobha but Anurag. It makes that pearl appear like a great amount of implicit, unquestionable, faithful, dedicated devotion and surrender to the Lord. Just like the pearl surrenders to the chest of the person, as though that very mala becomes one which can never be broken. This, any other mala can be broken. You can cut the thread and it will go away. But when it is with the Rama Bhakti, when it is done, because it is so attached to each other, it can never be broken. Ati Anuraga. One commentator says, Ati Anuraga means in so much of devotion, they can never part with that. Jugati Bedi Puni Pahahi Ramacharitmanas Baradag Pahirahi Sajjana Vimalaur Sobha Adi Anuraga Siyavar Ramachandra Ki Jai Pavana Sutta Hanuman Ki Jai Umapati Mahadev Ki Jai Bolo Bhai Sab Santan Ki Jai. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkhabhat Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.